Jill Scott was a trending topic over the weekend for applauding Chris Brown after he released a diss track that had everybody talking all weekend that was aimed at rapper Quavo. Jill wrote, Chris Brown is amazing. How does anybody sing like that, dance, look, act, and rap like that? Beyond gifted. Now, it appears exceptional people have to go through exceptional fire. There's nothing to debate. Now, what are your thoughts on Jill Scott publicly supporting Chris Brown? But most importantly, what did y'all think of Chris's diss track? Armand, what do you think?
Listen, I agree with Jill Scott, and I just didn't understand why a lot of people were trying to drag her for that. Here's the thing, like Chris Brown, his career has suffered. We know this. He's paid his dues to society. You know, I mean, Karrueche has moved on. Rihanna has forgiven him. At the end of the day, the man made a mistake. It happened. And it doesn't take away from how immensely talented he is. You know, he's a great basketball player, a great singer, a great rapper, a great artist. So the man is talented. So we can't take that away from him. Now, as far as, you know, the beef with Quavo, I'm like, it's gotten really, really spicy. And, you know, we got to bring my girl into it because I feel like Nicki Minaj is the reason for the season. She put that big foot on the floor and told Megan to get on your good foot. And all the people want to come out now and beef. So I just feel like, you know what, I'm here for it. And that tea about, you know, Chris Brown allegedly sleeping with Quavo's girlfriend while Quavo was with her, sweetie, was it you? What's the tea, baby? Were you sleeping with Chris Brown while you were with Quavo? The people want to know. You got to clear that up.
Breaking news, Quavo just responded to Chris's diss track in a newly released song and said, you've been bleeped up your whole bag when you punched Ree in the face. Quavo proceeded to call him a crackhead, Michael Jackson, and said, bleep, you better beat it. Al, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I got to tell you, this is what I like about the diss track and the beef. This is how I remember when I was coming through. If you had an issue with another co-worker or another rapper, you took it to the tracks, you took it to the booth. You went into the booth, you rapped it out, and you put it on a song. And I like seeing this. I like this better than going on social media. I like this better than going on IG Live or Twitter or any of those other platforms talking junk about each other. Get in the booth and rap it out. That I like. Now let's get to the Jill Scott issue. For me, I don't know why, but for me, I've always looked at Jill Scott as being for the black woman, pro-black woman, pro-woman. So for me, it was very awkward to see her stand up and praise someone. And it's just not Rihanna. I wish people would really just state the facts. It's not just Rihanna. It's not just Karrueche. He has a long list of offenses of things that he's done towards women. So it's awkward for me to see a black woman who I have seen her entire brand, her entire time in entertainment being for the rights of black women and pro-black women, to stand in this space and applaud someone who has not been and has a history of not being the nicest to black women.
If I just separate the diss track from the meaning behind and, you know, Chris Brown's past and all that, you know, we're going to keep on bringing it for the rest of his life, I suppose. As far as diss tracks go, it was great. He did his thing, and I'm not giving it to Nicki. I'm giving it to Megan is the one that actually kicked that off, Armand, if you really want to do it. And Nicki spiraled for $40 and said half the stuff on her song and before. So we I wish she would have waited and kept it on the wax, because that's what I'm talking about. To Al's point, when they do take it off social media and then put it in a song, we can look at it more as art instead of just like someone spiraling. It doesn't make you look as nuts. I just feel like, I just want to say that real quick. I think that I like that I hope it stays on wax. I hope it stays on an album. I hope it stays in the booth and it doesn't go into the streets. But unfortunately, these things do tend to bleed off because ego is a hell of a drug. And I don't think this is going to be over. Sleepy said, please, people need to stop tripping. Riri was beating his butt first, and he responded, okay. And Big Johnson said, Armand, Megan body Nicki. What are you talking about? Okay. Ivana said, is Chris Brown never going to be forgiven? Okay. And DJ The Truth said, so anytime a celebrity brings up Chris Brown, they have to castigate him due to his past. How primitive. And one last comment there saying, Nyla Jones said, two things can be true at once. Chris is abusive and he is talented. Extremely talented. There's no denying that. As far as diss songs go, Chris, that was, I guess, because coming from an R&B singer too, right? It's not like he's a rapper per se. So I think that's what made it even more shocking that he made a better rap diss than a lot of these rappers did.
But let me ask you this, Al, because you know you're my boy, but I got to get it. So are we not Team Chris on this or what, Al?
Oh, Tim Chris on the diss track?
Or no, even with the support though. So you like, no,
No,
you're not.
only thing that I'm saying is what made me feel awkward was if we're gonna, especially Jill Scott has always come
Yeah.
across as kind of like a pro-black woman. Like you don't beat on black women, you treat them like queens, you don't put your hands on them. It's like she sung about all of this. She talked about love, black love, men treat your women like queens. So just to see her speak into this space was awkward. It was awkward. I don't think she said anything too terribly wrong. She talked about his talent. We know he's talented, but to see an advocate for pro-black women rights and all that love and respect that she sings about for 2 decades, then to be, this overtly supportive was just awkward for me. That's all.
He did have a bar. Chris actually had a bar about Quavo beating up women in the elevator too, which I thought that was kind of interesting. Like he pointed out that Quavo was putting hands on women and saying that he was against it. So we'll see where this goes. I don't think this was the last we'll hear of this. And we got to check out Quavo's song when we get out the air.